Ding, who is the lead machine learning engineer at Freddie Mac. And Chong is going to talk about the future virtual assistants and learning and AR and VR are changing chatbots. So I'm really excited about this because it's all about chatbots right now. So please take it away, Chong.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Chong. I'm actually working at Freddie Mac for a couple of years. I'm in the innovation lab. We're working on all kinds of the machine learning POCs and push those into productions. Today, I'm going to talk about the chatbot, the next generation of the chatbots, how we're changing the chatbot using the machine learning and the augmented reality and the virtual reality. Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. My structure of the talk gonna be, oh, sorry. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the intelligent assistant, and then we'll be going to the technique behind the intelligent assistant. The next will be will be introduce our POC structure about the intelligent assistant, how we combine with the AR and the VR technologies, and also the Open AI GPT models. So firstly, I want to see what's the intelligent assistant looks like in your mind. I mean, this is like something like voice assistant or like a text-based assistant or something you can see, you can feel like a virtual humans. So the idea of the intelligent assistant should have the four capabilities. They should have follow your instructions, follow your command, and know you well. It should understand you pretty well, and it's capable and knowledgeable. It should be answer any questions you don't know. Like you can ask when is the Easter. They should give you the response. And next, I'm gonna to see the type of the intelligent assistants. So we have already have some of the chatbot, which is the text-based assistants. This is like ChatGPT. They are powered by LLM, which is large language models, and some of the voice assistant, Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri. This are also powered by the command and control, which is you give a comment, and if it's in their list, they will give you the output. Otherwise, they will say, "I don't understand what's your question." Um, and the next it's gonna be talk a little bit the technology behind those intelligent assistant. So here is the three tasks. We have the set a timer, turn on the lights, and the when is Easter. So I'm gonna to classify into the two categories. So the first two can be a task driven, which you must using like Alexa to set a timer, turn on the lights. We call it task driven. The third one can be the information driven. So this is like you're searching from knowledge base of websites, like when it's Easter, they give you the answers. That's we call it information driven. And the behind the black box of intelligent assistant, there is two parts. So the first part we call it speech recognitions. So the second part is conversational AI. So when you human, they talking and they should have acoustic model convert the speech into the text. And then there is a natural language understanding models to understand their questions and the dialogues they tracker and the dialogue policies and to generate the response and convert response to the speech to the human. This is how the voice assistant works. That is mostly important is conversational AI. So there is a semantic parsing, entity linking, co-referencing, dialogue state tracking, and etc. So that is the current status, which is the most technology behind the intelligent assistant. But this is still not our ideal assistant. Still a lot of improvement should be on top of this tech stack. So the human should be asked how we can increase the accuracy, how we can learn like the assistant to learn the new things, the new tasks, how we can make it more capable and to have a multi-turn conversation smoother, like a human. It's more smoother conversation like a human, not just like a machine to output something like a it's just automatically replies when you're calling some like the voice assistant. So what we did is we actually integrate with GPT model with OpenAI. So you can think about the Siri is a command control powered by the command control, but the GPT is powered by large language models. When you combine that, that's we call Super Siri. I know this is gonna be have a lot of regulations, restrictions, but in this POC, we actually did it just want to prove this concept. We don't have we haven't considered this part, but this is also an important part we need to consider. But I just want to show you how powerful with the AI assistant, which is integrated with the GPT model. Um, Here is our user cases. Just give you an understanding how we integrate, why we integrate with the OpenAI GPT model. So we actually using that for our policy FAQ assistant. So it's actually allow the policymakers to save a lot of times, to make it more efficiently to hunting for the details about the policy guidelines. So we have phase one, which is our training for and fine tuning for our the GPT 3.5 model. And the phase two, it's gonna be deployed using the EKS cluster, and also we set up the human in the loop. And also on top up, I will discuss another part, which is insert part, HRHF, it's reinforcement learning from human feedback. But we have completed those phase two. It actually works pretty good. I'm gonna to show you a little bit our architecture here. So there have three parts. So first part is the front end applications. So it's just have initial prompt and initial response, and then second and the second response, which have some predictions between that. And the second is backend system, which we actually deploy in AWS. We have DynamoDB store all the conversational data. Now we have I'm sorry. So we have the GPT service call to call the GPT models, get the response back, and we also have a quick set which doing the monitoring dashboard. We train this model on all our Freddie Mac public data, so there is no kind of like a confidential problem right now, but in future, it's gonna be going to some like a restrict environment or confidential environments. It's gonna be having some restriction need to be set before we put this into production. Here is just showing some results before and after model fine tuning. Actually, this is before we ask questions, can I use improvement financing to fund the down payment? The response is, sorry, I don't know. But after we fine tuning, it actually can answer a lot of questions for the mortgage. It's like a mortgage professional assistant. This answer actually is very accurate and correct. It's actually evaluated by our mortgage professionals. The third part, which is I want to tell, it's the RLHF pipeline, which is reinforcement learning from human feedback. This is very important because this is pretty simple. This is just modeling the human preference. So it's like you train a model to modeling a human preference, and it's like giving an input. How good is output? Here is our architecture. It's more clearly. So we actually set up the trainer in the sandbox, AWS sandbox. And so you can see it's actually we fine tuning the reward functions for the preference, and the way the human feedback data will be learned from this. We learned the human feedback data, which is human feedback data, and to train the preference model to output something which is which is ideal. It's like a giving an output, how good is input, which is mostly modeling the human preference. You see, this is our reference model. This is our active model. This is our reward, which have a reward function to modeling the human preference. And this is gonna be optimize the model and to give the best preference to generate the good response. And still we need to still do like this is our baseline and compare this model and to see how good is response. So that is how the reinforced learning from human feedback works. You can think about it's just modeling the human preference and giving an input, how good is output. So that's all the open AI part. It's we integrate with GPT model. The next, it's gonna be the if we think about it, we integrate the augmented reality and the virtual reality. So I know this is kind of like a couple of like has been discussed very long time ago, but I just want to bring here. This is actually our like after pandemic, people almost working fully remote. So during the meeting, like we're on the Teams, and even you open the camera, it's still like it's not like a face to face. But if we build something like a virtual space, so we can see each other virtually, it's actually like when you wear some glasses, and I think it's gonna be very similar when you meet each other in person. So we're actually building this using the Blender, which is creating our 3D virtual space, and integrated with Babylon.js, which is mostly like a 3D environments. So you can build your characters and avatars and whatever using a Blender, and you can build your office and basically conference room, hallway, co-working space, exactly same. I know I like this conference room. I'm gonna to show some example here. We actually here is our headquarter 4. We're actually building all this conference room is using the elevators, and the human can go into elevators, so it actually can be talking with each other in actually it's like in person, and you can also building your customized characters, which is like Lucy or Tom, so they can meet each other. So basically, they can talk each other similarly like in person. So on the right side, it's just our conference room. Here, a little bit more pictures about our co-working space. This is just one of the hallway, and this is our co-working space. Basically, you can just the metaverse. They have the product, and you can just walk and to meet each other in virtually, which is I think it's just great for the fully remote workers, which they can have a meeting similarly like in person. So that is how the AR and the VR integrate with the virtual assistant. But I know most of the companies, they don't have this in production. Most it's still working on the POCs because the rise of generative AIs and the decreasing of the AR VR happens right now. But here I just want to bring this again. It's still a huge, I think, potential research should be on the augmented reality and the virtual reality. So we are still working on that, but this is just a small POC I just want to share with you guys. The next, it's just not that for demo. We actually deploy our voice chatbot on AWS. This is a phone number. You can just try to play with our chatbots, and this all trained on public data. So no problem with the confidential or restrict the information or PPI information, but it's just like a simple. I'm not gonna to show a demo here, but here you can try it by yourself. Definitely, it should be fun. I think that's all my presentation, it's a short presentation, but I think you probably have more questions to ask. So I just leave you 10 minutes for the questions. Yeah.